Greetings, video game fans. Welcome back to another Top 5. Today, we're going to be talking about E3 2019. If you don't know what E3 is, it's basically the biggest expo in gaming. It happens every year in June in Los Angeles, California. This year, we're expecting some big announcements and some thrilling trailers. However, Sony has already confirmed that they will not be at E3 2019. This leaves open some room for other companies such as Microsoft, Ubisoft, Activision, Nintendo, and others to make some announcements that will really get the internet talking. So while the PS5 may not be revealed at E3, there are still big things that we can expect. Today, I'd like to give my top 5 predictions for E3 2019. Before we get into it though, I want you to know that these are not the top 5 likeliest to happen, nor are they the top 5 things that I want to happen the most. However, I'm ranking them the top 5 things that if they were to be revealed or gone over at E3 2019 would be enormous talking points, would be huge media splashes. These are what I think could be the 5 biggest deals that could possibly go down at E3 2019. So I hope you guys enjoy this list. Before we get into the exact list, I want to go over a few things that I think are pretty likely to happen, but probably won't be the biggest talking points coming out of the show. For instance, Microsoft has a couple of IPs that they've already announced, such as Halo Infinite and Gears of War 5, and maybe another IP that we don't know anything about yet. These IPs need gameplay, they need release dates, and I expect to see that at E3 2019. Final Fantasy VII has already been announced, the remake of Final Fantasy VII, but I still expect to see new gameplay and possibly a release window for that game. And so while that is likely to happen, probably not going to be the most exciting thing, as we already know that it's coming. Call of Duty 2019 is another one of these items. Many are expecting it to be Modern Warfare 4 or something in that vein. Again, it's probably going to happen, probably not going to be the biggest deal. A couple of other smaller things include a new title in the Batman Arkham series from Rocksteady Games. Many are expecting that this year at E3. I don't know, I hope we'll see it, but again, not the biggest deal. And then finally, Assassin's Creed Ragnarok, which is kind of focused on a Viking setting, is rumored to be coming in 2020. Now we know that they're probably not going to do massive unveiling of all the concepts and stuff from the new Assassin's Creed, but at least a teaser, maybe a reveal of some of the gameplay of Assassin's Creed Ragnarok at E3 this year. I expect a lot of these things will happen. However, they're not making my top 5 because they're probably not the biggest deals that could possibly happen. With all that being said, let's get into the list with an honorable mention. Microsoft and Nintendo reveal an Xbox Live collaboration complete with Game Pass coming to Nintendo Switch. This is an idea that has been rumored and talked about a lot recently, especially following the release of Cuphead, which was originally an Xbox exclusive on Nintendo Switch. Now, I for one think that Game Pass coming to Nintendo seems a little bit out there. However, if any form of Xbox Live makes its way to Nintendo Switch, it's going to be something that the whole world over is talking about. For Xbox, for Microsoft, it would allow them a way to get their brand and some of the things that are working really well for them to become more popular in Japan, a market that they've had a hard time breaking into. For Nintendo, it would streamline their online connectivity through Xbox Live's party system, which is something that Nintendo fans are clamoring for. Seems like a match made in heaven. Whether we'll see it or not is still left to be determined. Another reason that this could be such a huge deal is because of the game Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Many of you guys are very familiar. Well, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate from Nintendo is in the middle of a slew of updates and DLC characters being announced, revealed, and then given to the players through updates, paid updates. Well, in the middle of this moment, Microsoft and Nintendo makes this decision to bring Xbox Live to Switch. It opens the floodgates for Microsoft characters to join Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Now, while this is a little bit of a faraway idea, could you imagine playing with Master Chief in Super Smash, or Minecraft Steve, or my personal favorite, Banjo and Kazooie in Smash Bros. Ultimate? I think that these ideas are amazing, while a little bit far-fetched. However, if Nintendo and Microsoft work out some way to get Xbox Live onto the Switch. I, for one, would be excited because of all the frazzling internet issues I've had with online play on the Switch, but I think the world over would be overjoyed to see a partnership of this magnitude happening at E3 2019. Number 5, a brand new Castlevania game. Let's be honest, Castlevania has had it pretty rough these last few years. The last 2 installments of the series, Lords of Shadow 1 and Lords of Shadow 2, both received less than stellar reviews. While they were praised for their combat, their story development and enemy design and even their identity as a Castlevania game were considered major weak points. Even the most enamored Castlevania fans felt like the games fell flat. But last year, 2018, Simon Belmont from Castlevania 1 and 2 and Richter Belmont from Castlevania Rondo of Blood both made an appearance in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. That's big news for Castlevania, and it got some of their most classic characters back to the foreground of the gaming world. People are asking, where do these characters come from? What game are they from? Oh, I wish I could play that game today, right? Well, another interesting Castlevania thing that has seen success recently is this reinvigoration of Metroidvania games. You have Hollow Knight and Shovel Knight and Bloodstained, Curse of the Moon. There's another Bloodstained coming out this year. All of these games receiving incredible reviews and selling incredibly well on eShops all around the world. The stage is set for some new main series Castlevania game in the line of the old successful Castlevania games like Castlevania 3 or Castlevania Symphony of the Night to take the stage and take the world by storm. What I would like to see, because if you don't know, in May 2019, Castlevania received an anniversary collection that was released on most of the platforms. What I'd like to see is Konami do with Castlevania what Mega Man did last year. This anniversary collection comes out in May, and then we immediately see the announcement of a brand new Castlevania adventure that is just like one of the old Castlevanias, except for updated with graphics and gameplay and enemies that we've never seen before. That would get millions of people around the world talking. That is one of the biggest things that I can see happening at E3 2019, and I can't wait to see Konami do something big. Number 4, Square Enix's Avengers Project. In January of 2017, a curious trailer dropped onto the internet, and it revealed a collaboration between Square Enix and Marvel. The product they're collaborating on is some sort of Avengers universe video game. Now, this was pretty exciting news. There was no title, no gameplay, only this hashtag reassemble. So since then, there's been almost no new information. All the information we have since then has come from interviews and job listings, so everyone is clamoring to know, what is this Avengers title? Well, Square Enix has revealed that they are having a show at E3 2019, so what better way to break the internet than revealing your Avengers project within just a few weeks of Avengers Endgame breaking box office records around the world. Now, what we do know is this, as of the last few months, Crystal Dynamics, one of the project's developers, has announced that they're looking for a narrative director to work with them on this Avengers project. And so we assume that the game is somewhere in the narrative development stage, somewhere middle of the road, not near being done yet. So we don't really expect this project to be done in 2019. However, that shouldn't prevent them from being able to announce something at E3 this year. Another piece of information we've gotten on this project has come from some of the directors of the game themselves, talking about how this new Avengers project is going to be third person, it's going to be cover-based, it's going to have a shared open world type of environment, kind of like Destiny, where you can play with your friends and you can play over time and continue to play as updates are released and new things come out, and the more time you put into it, the more you're going to get out of it type of a game. It seems like an incredible experience, especially in a day and age where Marvel is just so big right now. So you can guarantee that if this project is revealed again, or if it has new gameplay added, or any kind of new information for people to grab hold of from Square Enix, it's going to turn the world over. I hope they talk about Avengers at E3. Number 3, Nintendo's 2020 IPs. Now, predicting the big N is a task that is really hard to do. They always seem to have something up their sleeve, always something that you didn't quite expect. But for 2019, we already know so many of the games coming out. Just think Super Mario Maker, Animal Crossing, Town, Astral Chain, Luigi's Mansion, Fire Emblem, Pokemon Sword and Shield, and Link's Awakening, the new Zelda title. There are so many games that have already been announced for 2019, and we just are expecting Nintendo to focus on those. But I think Nintendo might give us some information concerning a 2020 or beyond title to keep our eyes and excitement swelled up looking to the future. So, there's been a couple that have already been announced that I want to go over first. At E3 2017, Metroid Prime 4 was teased. Reaction videos filled the internet. Everybody's so excited about MP4 coming to Switch. But since then, there's been some development drama and some slowdowns, and so that game may not be quite close enough to get gameplay and release window, but if it did, the internet would go wild. Bayonetta 3, while not technically an IP of Nintendo, it is published by Nintendo, and it is a Nintendo Switch exclusive, so it belongs here. If Bayo 3 were to get gameplay, maybe a full trailer, perhaps even a release date, the whole internet would just go into full-on hype. Because of what happened in 2017 when the game was announced, everybody was so excited about Bayonetta 3. I would expect no less from a full-on gameplay reveal at E3. There are a couple other projects that people are talking about, or maybe they're just hopes, but you know, a Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild sequel, or a Super Mario Odyssey sequel. Some people have even been clamoring for a new Star Fox series game, or maybe a new F-Zero game. Now, while I don't think many of these are likely to be talked about or even revealed at E3 2019, if even one of these 2020 and beyond titles is talked about, Nintendo will have major success at E3, and everyone will be talking about what they have coming down the pipeline. Number 2, a brand new Bioshock game from 2K. This one could be considered a wild card or just simply the most problematic entry on my list. It's a long shot, probably not going to happen. There's very little evidence that this project even exists. However, fans of the Bioshock series have predicted that Bioshock 4 would be revealed at E3 2017, E3 2018, and I'm sure they're predicting it's going to happen this year. The hope for Bioshock 4 seems undying, especially with such little proof. Now, the little confirmation that we have that Bioshock 4 even exists comes from a Kotaku employee who tweeted back in April of 2018 that he had confirmation that there was a secret branch of 2K Games in San Francisco that was working on a Bioshock 4 or some sort of Bioshock development project right there in San Francisco. Now, since that tweet in April of 18, we have not seen any new information come out about this at all. Could they have kept radio silence because they're waiting for some big event like this to unveil the new project? Seems like a long shot to me. However, if some new Bioshock project was revealed, it would break the internet. You see, Bioshock has an unbelievable track record, releasing 3 different games that just created such a huge splash in the gaming world. They were revolutionary in terms of storytelling. Their gameplay was out of the box, and people that played the games got so invested in the idea, in the characters, and I personally was a big fan of Bioshock. Now, looking to the future, we think that we're seeing new consoles on the horizon, with Sony talking about PlayStation 5 and Microsoft having this Xbox Scarlet or whatever it may be in somewhere in development. Could Bioshock show up at E3 2019 claiming to be one of the first titles of the next generation, showing off graphics that have never been seen before in a video game? I think I might be onto something, and if Bioshock 4 was revealed in this manner, it would be one of the only things that people are talking about walking out of E3 2019. Number 1, you probably saw this one coming, a brand new Xbox. Everyone was befuddled to hear that Sony would not be coming to E3 2019. They've been talking about PlayStation 5 and potential plans for a reveal in the near future. Enter Microsoft at E3 2019. Would there ever be a better place where you could be guaranteed that Sony is not going to be at the same expo you are to upstage your reveal during that week than to reveal your new Xbox right here at E3 2019? Now, revealing a console at E3 is a difficult thing to do. It's going to be under scrutiny. Everybody watching your console reveal is going to be nitpicking details from your price point to your specs. I think Microsoft can pull it off, but they have to be careful. This new Xbox can't be a one-trick pony. It can't be a gimmicky console. It needs to be a makes sense, everyday kind of person's console. It needs to be Microsoft flavored, if you will. Different enough from the competition to brand itself as something that you need above the other consoles, but it doesn't need to be simply trying to just outdo and outperform in the small numbers. It needs to have something so uniquely Microsoft that at this event, people will be walking out remembering E3 2019 as the E3 that the Xbox Scarlet or the Xbox Infinity or whatever they're gonna call it was finally revealed. I think if Xbox were to reveal their new console, it would take all the talk coming out of the event. Everyone would be remembering E3 2019 as Xbox or Microsoft's E3. Wow, what a list. If even half of that stuff were to be revealed, this would go down as an amazing E3 season. Feel free to leave a like on my video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe, please, and ring that little bell so you get all the notifications for more amazing content just like this. Also, comment down below. Tell me your thoughts about E3 2019, and let's keep this conversation going all the way up to the event. Thank you so much for watching. Peace.